Lando Norris extended his world title lead over Oscar Piastri to 9 points after he won the Sao Paulo sprint, while his McLaren teammate crashed out in a fresh major setback to the Aussie driver's fading title hopes. 2 weeks after losing the championship lead to Norris, Piastri spun into the barriers in damp conditions at turn 3 when running in third place on lap 6. Piastri touched his left front wheel on the inside curb, slashing the McLaren and sending it into the tyre barriers. He was followed in the corner on the same lap by Sauber's Nico Hülkenberg and Alpine's Franco Colapinto, who both ran on the curb. While Hülkenberg was able to drag his damaged car back to the pits for rear wing repairs under the subsequent red flag, Piastri and Colapinto were out on the spot. A 22-minute delay responded to the crashes while the barrier was repaired. Piastri said, "Just as a wheel onto the white line of the curb and around I went. A silly mistake or an unfortunate one, that's it." While the field having started on slicks and a still damp but giant track after the morning rain, Norris had led the early laps from Antonelli, then stayed ahead of the young Italian when the sprint resumed with a rolling start. But Kimi didn't make life easy for Norris. His challenge aided by the fact that Mercedes started on more durable mediums compared to the softer McLaren, but Norris withstood the late pressure to win by just over a second and took full advantage of Piastri's crash. And in a further boost, Norris also extended his lead over Max Verstappen to 39 points after the Dutchman finished 4th behind the other Mercedes, George Russell, who was 3rd. Leclerc overtook Alonso late for some typically resolute defending from the veteran, while Lewis Hamilton finished just behind but moved up from his lowly starting position. Gasly took final point for Alpine, a rare one for the struggling Enstone team this season, and Gabriel Bortoleto had a huge high-speed accident as he lost control of his Sauber under braking, trying to overtake the Williams. Losing control on the outside line, the Sauber slewed left, smashed into the pit wall and then briefly went airborne as it capitulated back across the right, making a heavy impact with the barriers in the runoff area. Bortoleto was okay, but yeah, had to do mandatory checks, and yeah, he faced the race in time to take part in qualifying. While they carry limited points to the full Grand Prix on a Sunday, the last 2 sprints have had significant repercussions on the state of the title battle. His lap 6 mistake in Sao Paulo comes 3 weeks after he took responsibility for the accident that took both McLarens out in America, which Max Verstappen won. This time Piastri's early exit was to his teammates' complete gain with a fine margin. Such an incident emphasised the fact that Norris also went over the wet curb to the 2 cars ahead of him, kicking up spray but without apparent problem. Reflecting, Norris said, "It was tough. It makes wins more rewarding when you have to win like this." With Kimi there, he was certainly not making life easy. It's one of those ones where you need to push because the guy behind will push a bit more. It's sketchy, even with the wind and the deg on the tyres, it was difficult. While his McLaren mechanics will work to repair his car for qualifying, Piastri just has hours to regroup, saying he'll try and put it behind him, and yeah, knowing there's a lot more points. Verstappen says, "Like this, you're in no man's land. I can't really stay with the guys with me. If we can fight a bit more, maybe I can fight with the Mercedes." And before I go, let me run you through the sprint classification. Norris getting a win. Yeah, great job from him. Did exactly what he needs to do, and a huge boost for him with Piastri obviously retiring. It's all going wrong for Oscar, isn't it? And yeah, you've got to feel sorry for him because, yeah, another silly mistake, and it just seems to be slipping away, cracking under pressure. But for Mercedes, really good for them. Great in the constructors as well. Verstappen 4th, probably the best he can do. Hugely frustrating for him though, because yeah, he needs points if he wants to overturn the championship. Leclerc 5th, probably the best he could do as well. Hamilton will be frustrated not to get past Alonso at the end, but Alonso, great job from him. Gasly getting a point in that absolute tractor. Yeah, credit to him. Stroll up there as well, but will be disappointed to miss out on the point. Similar for Hadjar. Ocon did well to beat Behrman, something we haven't seen a lot from him this weekend. But yeah, Behrman a frustrating incident with Lawson. Tsunoda, yeah, really struggling with pace again. Then you've got Sainz in 14th, Albon in 17th. Not really the pace Williams were expecting, I doubt. And obviously that huge crash for Hülkenberg and Bortoleto as well. Not a good session for Kick Sauber, it's fair to say. And then Lawson and Albon. Lawson in obviously with his own incident. Albon struggling for pace. And yeah, those 2 crashes for Piastri and Colapinto. For Piastri as well, that's going to be hugely costly for him, you would think. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.